Ever wonder how someone could walk into a bank, ask for $63 billion, and actually get it? Not by building factories or inventing some world-changing gadget, but by convincing everyone that an idea, essentially nothing tangible, was worth everything. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, a grand financial magic trick. But this isn't fiction. This is the story of the modern economy, and it's happening right now as you're watching this. For decades, a massive illusion has been playing out right under our noses. It's an illusion so powerful that it's turned thin air into gold, abstract ideas into sprawling empires, and literally nothing into a $63 billion valuation. The masterminds who cracked this code didn't just get rich. They rewrote the entire playbook on how money and value work in the 21st century. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this genius, controversial, and frankly wild business strategy. We're going to explore how companies create immense wealth by selling products that don't physically exist, services you can't touch, and assets built purely on collective belief. This isn't just about tech giants or Wall Street wizards. This phenomenon touches every part of our lives. Think about the apps on your phone. You can't hold an app, yet the companies behind them are worth billions. Consider the digital currencies that exist only as code but can buy you a car. Or the social media platforms that have no physical product but command the attention of billions of people. Their value isn't in steel or concrete. It's in data, networks, and brand perception. So, how does this work? It starts with a concept called intangible assets. Unlike a factory or a fleet of trucks, these are things you can't see or touch. They include brand reputation, intellectual property like patents and code, and most importantly, network effects. A network effect is the idea that a service becomes more valuable as more people use it. A telephone is useless if you're the only one who has it, but it's indispensable when everyone has one. Social media platforms mastered this. Each new user adds a tiny bit of value for every other user, creating a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle of growth. This network becomes the real product, an invisible infrastructure of human connection that is incredibly valuable. These companies didn't sell a thing. They sold a space, a digital town square. And by owning the square, they could monetize the attention of everyone in it. This strategy flipped traditional business on its head. Instead of high upfront costs for manufacturing, they had low costs for code, but massive potential for scale. Their primary challenge wasn't building a product, but building a community, a belief system. They had to convince us that their digital space was the place to be, that their brand was a symbol of identity. They turned our data into their asset, our attention into their currency, and our belief into their $63 billion valuation. By the time you finish this video, I promise you'll never look at your phone, your apps, or even your bank account the same way again. The world of value has changed, and understanding this shift is key to navigating the future. Let's start with a question. What does it mean to sell nothing? I'm not talking about scams. I'm talking about legitimate billion-dollar businesses that sell things you cannot physically hold or store in your garage. Think about it. When was the last time you bought a physical book, a CD, or a paper map? It's probably been a while, right? That's because the world shifted. We stopped buying things and started buying experiences, access, and subscriptions. And the companies that figured this out first? They became some of the richest on earth. Let's talk numbers. The global software industry is worth over $600 billion. And what is software? It's code. It's ones and zeros. You can't drop it on your foot, yet people pay billions for it. But software is just the beginning. Let me tell you a story. Back in 1999, a guy named Mark Benioff had a wild idea. Back then, buying business software meant getting big boxes of CDs. It was expensive and clunky. Mark thought, what if, instead of selling software, you sold access to it online? He called it Software as a Service, or SaaS, and started a company called Salesforce. He wasn't selling a product. He was selling a promise, access anytime, anywhere, with no headaches, and people loved it. Today, Salesforce is worth over $200 billion. The entire business world now runs on this model. Zoom, Slack, Dropbox, you're not buying them, you're renting them. Month after month. And once you're in their ecosystem, with all your files and workflows, you're kind of stuck. You just keep paying. This is the first layer of the illusion. Convince people they don't need to own things, just access them. And access is a never-ending revenue stream. But wait, it gets even crazier. Software companies sell a service. But then social media came along and said, "Hold my beer. How much do you pay for Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok?" Zero. And yet Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, made over $116 billion in a single year. How? Simple. You are the product. You've heard that before, but let's break it down. Every time you scroll, like, or watch, you're creating data. This data is packaged into a detailed profile about you. What you like, what you do, and what you might buy. Companies then pay social media platforms billions to show you super targeted ads based on that profile. It's not magic, it's just really, really good math. And the wildest part? You're doing all the work for free. You create the content, you feed the algorithm, and in return, you get to see pictures of your friend's brunch. This is the second layer of the illusion. Convince people that free is better, when in reality, they're paying with something far more valuable than money, their attention and their data. But even that isn't the most extreme version of selling nothing. Now we have to talk about cryptocurrency and NFTs. This is where the illusion reaches its peak. Remember 2021? People started buying NFTs, non-fungible tokens, for millions of dollars. What were they buying? Digital pictures of cartoon apes and pixelated punks. But they weren't even buying the picture itself, which anyone could still see and copy online. They were buying a digital token on a blockchain that said they owned it. An artist named Beeple sold one for $69 million for a JPEG file. Then it all crashed. Hard. That bored ape that cost $200,000 is now worth a tiny fraction of that, if you can even sell it. But for a brief moment, people genuinely believed these digital tokens were the future. The people who sold them early made a fortune. It's the same story with cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ethereum. What are you actually holding? It's not gold or stocks, it's code. Its value is based entirely on belief. This is the ultimate form of selling nothing. No product, no service, not even data. Just pure, unfiltered belief. From renting software to selling your data for free entertainment to buying pure belief in a line of code, the biggest businesses in the world have mastered the art of selling absolutely nothing, and we're all buying it. Have you ever wondered why we spend so much money on things that don't really exist? We're talking about software subscriptions, in-game items, and even those weird digital art pieces called NFTs. It feels like we're just throwing money into a digital void. But what if I told you this isn't a new phenomenon? In fact, humans have been experts at this for thousands of years. Think about it. What is money? A $100 bill is just a piece of specially printed paper. Its only value comes from our collective agreement that it's worth $100. If we all woke up tomorrow and decided it was just fancy toilet paper, its value would vanish. The same goes for stocks. You're not buying a literal brick from a factory. You're buying a share of a story, the belief that a company will be more successful in the future. This is the key. Our entire society is built on intangible concepts that we collectively believe in. Laws, nations, even the idea of a corporation itself. These things only exist in our shared imagination. And companies that understand this fundamental human trait have figured out how to get ridiculously rich. They don't just sell products. They sell stories. They sell identity. They sell the feeling that you're part of something bigger. Take Apple. They don't just sell phones and laptops. They sell the idea that you are a creative, forward-thinking individual. When you buy an Apple product, you're buying into an identity of innovation and cool. Nike isn't just selling athletic shoes. They're selling the inner athlete inside you. Just do it isn't about the shoe. It's about the belief that you can achieve greatness. And Tesla. They're not just selling electric cars. They're selling a vision of the future, a membership to a club that's saving the planet, one sleek vehicle at a time. Once you buy into the story, the actual product becomes almost secondary. So how far can this go? How much money can you make selling, well, almost nothing? Let me introduce you to WeWork. On the surface, WeWork was a simple real estate company. They leased large office buildings, chopped them up into smaller, hipper co-working spaces, and rented them out to freelancers and startups. Not exactly revolutionary. But their founder, Adam Neumann, was a master storyteller. He didn't sell WeWork as a real estate company. Oh no, he pitched it as a tech company, a global community, a lifestyle brand. He even claimed they were elevating the world's consciousness, and investors ate it up. They poured billions and billions of dollars into the company, pushing its valuation to an insane $47 billion at its peak. That's more than many established, profitable companies. But there was a huge problem hiding behind the curtain of hype. WeWork was bleeding money. In 2018 alone, they lost nearly $2 billion. The illusion shattered when they tried to go public in 2019. For the first time, people had to look at the actual numbers. Suddenly, the spell was broken. Investors realized, wait a minute, this is just a fancy office rental company that's losing a fortune. The valuation plummeted. Adam Neumann was forced out. And WeWork, the company once hailed as the future of work, eventually declared bankruptcy in 2023. It was a spectacular collapse. But here's the most mind-blowing part. Before the whole thing crumbled, Adam Neumann walked away with over $1 billion. He sold nothing but a story and became a billionaire. This is the dark side of the illusion. When belief fades, when the hype dies down and people see there's no real substance, the entire house of cards can come crashing down. And yet, this cycle repeats itself over and over again. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? I'm not saying every software subscription is a scam or that social media isn't useful. But we have to recognize that we've entered an era where value is increasingly detached from physical things. Value is now tied to perception, to stories, to collective belief. The people who have mastered the art of crafting these beliefs are the ones getting absurdly, unimaginably wealthy. This isn't just about one company or one industry. It's a fundamental shift in how wealth is created in the 21st century. You don't need factories. You don't need massive inventory. You just need a compelling story and enough people to believe in it. As long as people believe, the illusion holds. So the next time you're about to click subscribe, scroll through your social media feed, or consider buying into the next big digital trend, take a second and ask yourself, what am I really buying here? A product or a story? And more importantly, who is really getting rich from my belief? Because in the modern business world, sometimes the greatest product you can sell is nothing at all. If this video made you see the world a little differently, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the systems that shape our lives. I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Is this all just genius innovation? Or are we living in a massive bubble that's waiting to pop? Thanks for watching.